Hello student, welcome you all in this online lecture. I hope you are fine over there. So today we are going to learn social science, our environment, class 7. The chapter name is water. When you think of water, what images come to your mind? You think of rivers, the waterfalls, the rain song of pitter patter raindrops, rain water in your taps, etc. Mostly children love to float paper boats in rain puddles. So when we saw at noon, the puddles vanish. Where does the water go? Before we discuss the water cycle, let us take a look at the distribution of water on Earth. Approximately 97% of the Earth's water reside in the oceans. A fraction of the other 3% is the fresh water, which is frozen up into glacier and icebergs. The summary is that Earth's water has been moving on above and below its surface in an going cycle. It's called the water cycle. Topics in the chapter is water cycle, then distribution of water bodies, ocean circulation, in that waves, tides and ocean currents. Now the first point is water cycle. The sun's heat causes evaporation of water vapor. When the water vapor cools down, it condenses and forms the water clouds, and from there it may fall on the land or sea in the form of rain, snow or sleet. The process by which water continuously changes its form, the circulate between oceans, atmosphere and land, is known as the water cycle. The major sources of fresh water are the present in river, ponds, springs and glaciers. The ocean bodies and the sea contains salty water. The water of the ocean is salty or saline, as it contains large amount of dissolved salts. Most of the salt is sodium chloride or the common table salt that you or we eat. The water cycle is also known as hydrologic cycle. Which cycle? Hydrologic cycle is the continuous movement of water from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere and then back to the ground. It is continuously processed and hence it does not have a starting or ending point. It does not have a starting and ending point. Thus, the water present on the earth has been in a circulation since the evolution of the earth. Water goes through all the three states, means solid, liquid and gaseous. In the process, there are several factors assist the water cycle, means the sun, air, currents, to name a few. The stages involved in the complete water cycles are evaporation, then condensation and precipitation. We one by one learn here. The first stage is the evaporation. The sun's energy heats up the lakes, rivers, oceans, puddles and other water bodies. Which sources here? The lakes, rivers, oceans, puddles and other water bodies, which subsequently increases the temperature of the water present in them, and consequently some of the water evaporate as a vapor in the air into the air, and the rising air currents take the vapor up in the sky and simultaneously plants and trees also use water to the atmosphere in the form of vapor which rise up in the sky. Next process is condensation. As the vapors rise high, they cooler temperatures. Means they rise up high, they become coolers and make them cool down and turn back into liquid. Condensations, its wind and air currents move the moisture around leading to the formation of clouds. Next third process is precipitation. Wind movements causes the clouds particles to crash. The wind movements causes the cloud particles to crash, to collide. As they become water loaded or water filled, they develop into rain bearing clouds and fall back onto the earth's surface by the process known as precipitation. I again repeat here, the wind movement causes the clouds particles to crash. As they become water loaded or filled, they develop into rain bearing clouds and fall back onto the earth's surface by the process known as precipitation. And this may occur in the form of precipitation occur in the form of rain, hail or snow or sleet, depending upon the temperature or condition. The next fourth process is runoff. The precipitation either runs, means collecting off into the oceans, rivers and ground surface, or is absorbed into the soil. So, post the last stage, what is again ready to be evaporate and resume stage first. And this is how the water cycle has been going on for billions of years, and thus bringing fresh water to the peoples, animals and plants, helping them to survive all around the earth. So let's revise points with the help of some important notes. Water is present in the form of rivers, lakes, ocean, etc. The sun's heat causes evaporation of water vapor. When the water vapor cools down, it condenses and forms clouds, means create here the next step is condensation. From there it may fall on the land or sea in the form of rain, snow or sleet, means it is called precipitation. The process by which water continuously changes, it forms and circulates between oceans, atmosphere and land is known as water cycle. The process by which water continuously changes its form and circulates between ocean, atmosphere and land is known as water cycle. Terrarium, means here given the concept, it is an artificial enclosure for keeping small house plants. The major sources of fresh waters are the rivers, ponds, springs, glaciers. The ocean bodies and the sea contains salty water as it contains a large amount of dissolved salt. In the ocean bodies, seas contains what? Salty water, and in that contains large amount of salt, and most of this salt is sodium chloride or the common table salt that we eat. For more information, let's see a video.
How does it rain or what causes rain? Before this, first let us understand the two processes, evaporation and condensation. You have seen in your kitchen that when your mother boils water, it changes into steam or water vapor. This changing of water into water vapor or steam is called evaporation. Have you observed a puddle of water dries by itself after few days? What causes it to dry up? Is it a magic? No. Due to the heat of sun, the evaporation from all the water bodies like sea, river, lake and even puddle of water etc. goes on all the time, and hence the puddle of water eventually dries up. Do you know why the wet cloths dry faster in the summer season than the winter season? It's because the evaporation is faster due to the high temperature during summer. Let us do another small experiment. Take two wet towels. Make two folds of the first towel. Hang both the towels on a cloth line to dry in the sunlight. Which towel will dry faster and why? The folded towel takes longer time to dry. The second towel, which was unfolded and stretched properly on the cloth line, dries faster because larger area is exposed for evaporation and hence evaporation is faster. Now we will understand the second process. If you cover the boiling water with the lid, you will observe tiny droplets of water on the inner surface of the lid. Why does this happen? The steam or water vapor due to the boiling water cools down and changes into tiny droplets of water. This process is called condensation. Condensation is just the opposite of evaporation. Like in the case of water vapor from the boiling water changing into droplets of water on cooling, the same thing happens to the water evaporated from the various bodies. This water vapor rises up into the sky. It meets the cool air. Then the water vapor becomes cold and changes into water droplets. The water droplets keep collecting to form clouds. But when there is too much collection of water droplets in the clouds become heavy. This means the cloud can no longer hold this much amount of water, and the water starts to fall back in the form of rain. So we see both the evaporation and condensation result in the rainfall. That was the tireless journey which water continues to make endlessly. This is called water cycle. The water cycle is the journey water takes as it circulates from the land to the sky and back again to the land. Kids, now your special friend Dragonfly will show you the very special journey of the water. The sun plays an important role in this journey. The sun's heat evaporates water from the earth's surface. The water vapor rises up and eventually condenses, forming tiny droplets of water in the clouds. When the clouds become heavy and are not able to hold more, they fall as rain and fill up the oceans, rivers, lakes, ponds with water. The water again evaporates from these water bodies and the cycle of water continues.
Now next point is distribution of water bodies. We all know that 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered by water. If there is more water than land on this earth, so why do so many countries face water scarcity? Is all the water on the earth available to us? Look at here, about 97.3% of all water on the earth is salty or saline, and about 3% means 2.7% is a drinkable or fresh water. So more than 97% water is in the oceans, 2% is locked in the ice cap and glaciers, and less than 1% is in the rivers, lakes, ponds, wells and atmosphere. Ocean water contains dissolved salt like a sodium chloride and hence is a saline and cannot be used for drinking. Rivers, pond, spring and glacier are the major sources of fresh water. Rivers, ponds, spring and glaciers are the major sources of fresh water and less than 1% of water on the earth is freely available fresh water and therefore is a must be used very carefully and should be conserved. Look at the here saline water. How many percent of saline water present on the earth? Oceans have here 97.3% of saline water. So fresh water only 2.7% of water is here fresh water, and this fresh water divided into again separate parts. The first ice caps 2.0% water present in the ice caps. Groundwater, for example, bore well, there only 0.68% of water. Freshwater lakes 0.0009% of water present in the freshwater lakes. Island seas and salt lakes, they are present same like that freshwater lakes 0.0009%. Atmosphere means in that present water vapor, there is 0.0019% of water present in the atmosphere. And the last means we get from the water mostly in the cities or villages. Rivers, the main source of fresh water. Rivers we got only 0.0001%. So total 2.7% of fresh water. So important fact related that salinity is the amount of salt in grams present in 1000 grams of water, and the average salinity of the ocean is 35 parts of per thousand. Per 1000 liters ocean waters we get 35 parts. Next, Dead Sea in Israel has a salinity of 340 grams per liter of water. It's approximately 1000 liters of water, only 35%. But here in the 1 liter water present have here 340 grams, and swimmers can float in it because the increased salt content makes it dense. So now, for more information, let's see a video.
Distribution of water bodies. 3/4 of the Earth's surface is covered by water. The following table gives the distribution of water in percentage. Oceans 97.3, ice caps 02.0, groundwater 0.68, freshwater lakes 0.009, inland seas and salt lakes 0.009, atmosphere 0.0019, rivers 0.0001. The total is 100%. No more. Water is absolutely essential for survival. Water alone can quench our thirst when we are thirsty.